Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 12 games in 13 days at Toyota Field, starting June 10th through the 22nd. The back-to-back homestands contain 5 giveaway nights, 4 post-game fireworks shows, 2 brand-new team identities, and the in-park debut of the number 57 Trash Pandas race car. Get your tickets for the double homestand now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says because you're probably losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
Well, it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Tom Luganville here from my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
The Atlanta Braves.
Swung on and crushed. Deep left field. Kepler going back. Here comes some late dynamite here at Truist Park. A walk-off home run by Marcelo Zuna.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And we're back here at Baumhower's Victory Grill, walking you up to the Women's College World Series as Texas and Texas Tech square off. We'll have all the coverage for you beginning at 6:45. But for those of you wanting some Braves baseball, hey, Braves baseball is over on Talk Radio WZZN tonight because the Trash Pandas had a day game today. They played a day game at Rickwood against the Birmingham Barons as that series continues. How are you, Wes Neighbors?
Doing good. Good to be here at Baumhower's, that's for sure.
Always fun to be here at Baumhower's. There is plenty of news to get into. I already had a thought of getting Les Studeman on. She is the head coach. Well, excuse me. This feels really weird to say out loud. She is now the former head coach of the UAH Charger softball team. She announced her retirement today. Coach Studeman going to join us here in about 8 minutes' time. But wanted to get her on just for a state of the game, if you will. But now it's kind of turned into there's only been one head coach in the history of the program on campus over there at UAH, and that is Les Studeman. She is going to join us here, like I mentioned, about 8 minutes' time. But I kind of had a thought to get her on anyway, since we are airing, I think this is our 4th or 5th year in a row where we're airing the Women's College World Series. And then later on this month, we'll have the Men's College World Series from Omaha, which has felt like another mini SEC tournament, although I think the most teams that can go to Omaha are 3. This after 13 populate the bracket, so a little disappointing in that regard, but a lot of upsets. Be it Vanderbilt, Texas, Ole Miss, all losing home regionals. Georgia, very disappointing there for the Dogs is once again a month of June just kind of fall flat on their face. Also coming up tonight is the Stanley Cup Final, not final, so the Stanley Cup Final. Willie Donick, who is the television play-by-play voice of the Nashville Predators, is going to join us later on here in this first hour. And Brian Temple, just to let you know, I got a text message from Bob Baumhower.
Yes, sir.
He told me to touch base with him at 5:50 because of a delivery potentially that may get in the way.
Okay.
But right now, Bob Baumhower is scheduled for 6, but I'll need to confirm with Bob.
No worries.
At
Any day I get to talk to
5:50.
Mr. Baumhower is a good day.
There you go. But have to, and of course, we're here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. And for those of you watching on WZZN TV, put the camera out, and it's already very well populated here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. There's a few tables open, though. But we also have one headset available, and that will be utilized by one Drudy Arman coming up. And the look of shock on Wes Neighbors' face, priceless. But the camera's pointed out towards the fans out there enjoying some dinner here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. So a little bit of everything going on here today at Baumhower's Victory Grill. And we get a rematch in the Stanley Cup Final with Florida taking on Edmonton. Florida looking for the back-to-back. In fact, there was... Where is that little tidbit that I read earlier about Edmonton? Edmonton is playing in the Stanley Cup Final for the 9th time surpassing Philadelphia, who's played in 8 Stanley Cup finals. This is Edmonton, for the most appearances among the non-original 6 franchises. And then for Florida, that note that I was referencing just about 30 seconds ago, the Panthers are the 9th different franchise in NHL history to make 3 consecutive Stanley Cup final appearances, and the second to achieve that feat in the last 40 years, immediately following a run of 3 straight done by the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2021, and 2022. So here we go, USA versus Canada. I want to know, and tonight's game is in Edmonton. We'll find out whether or not we get another boo fest from the Canadians up there north of the border like we had in the Four Nations.
Right. Well, 51st state shouldn't act like that.
So it'll be fun talking some hockey with Willie Donick coming up later on here in this first hour. But I don't know if I got some feedback from our conversation yesterday with David Cutcliffe. He, going back, I re-listened to it. There was a lot of, a little bit more Pat Dye isms of, maybe not what he is saying.
What he's not saying.
Yeah, what he's not saying.
We always could tell. Yeah, it's 100%. I learned something, that somebody's complaining in the Southeastern Conference.
And it's not just one.
Yeah, it has to be more than one. And who they are, I'd like to know.
Wouldn't we all like to know?
You hope it's not Alabama. He and the reason I say that is the way he reacted to it, like it was a done deal and that things are going to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't say, well, I hope we don't, at all. It wasn't like, well, we don't need to do that. He's making a grave error if he thinks getting rid of that game is a good idea.
I would like to believe that I've played the clip from Greg Byrne, and you kind of went off on it last week when we were down at the beach. And then it felt like David Cutcliffe reiterated exactly what Greg Byrne was saying.
Yes.
And that's troubling.
Well, yeah, it is troubling. I don't understand what they're trying to do.
I don't understand.
I don't think they really know. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. I think there's so many balls up in the air that they're looking at every possibility of what they might have to do. But getting rid of that game shouldn't be even considered one of them. And the Auburn-Georgia game.
That's right.
And the Tennessee-Georgia game. I mean,
I'd say Tennessee-Kentucky, but I mean, that's me.
Yeah, I think, I don't know.
I think Tennessee-Kentucky is worth keeping because of those two fan bases not like each other.
Yeah, but what year has it ever come down?
I know that. I know. But I mean, that'd be looking at Vanderbilt's schedule saying, well,
you got to keep 2. Yeah, I mean, you going to keep Tennessee and Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, or Tennessee and Kentucky? I don't know.
So Tennessee would have to keep Vanderbilt in this scenario?
I don't know. Can we trade Vanderbilt for a team to be named later?
Could very well be the case.
Although they did do good in baseball, and
they were the number 1 overall seed, and didn't make it even to their own regional final, but they won the SEC baseball tournament, so that's not nothing.
No doubt.
Also not nothing is the Women's College World Series, as Texas and Texas Tech square off tonight. And this is not the first time that we have had 2 teams from the same state battle for the Women's College World Series. There is, I'm trying to bring it up here, as UCLA and California played twice in 04 and 03. UCLA won both times, and then UCLA and Fresno State played in 1990, 1998, 98, 88, 89, and 82. UCLA won all those, but this is the first Texas two-step, if you will, that we are getting in the Women's College World Series. Brian, are we good back there? Can I introduce my guest?
Oh, hey, let me give him a call.
Okay. All right. We'll talk a little more Women's College World Series here momentarily as Texas and Texas Tech facing off for the championship for the first time since 2004, two teams from the same state. But this is also a debut as well for Texas Tech in the Women's College World Series. And the previous debuts, Oklahoma's debut was 2000. They won that. Washington's debut was in 96. They lost that. But then Texas A&M, UCLA all won in their debuts in the Women's College World Series there in Oklahoma City. And
you know what Texas and the Texas Tech were, what they were preseason?
I don't know that answer. Well, I know Texas is known. I mean, there for a minute, it was always Texas, Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma. You could just write it down. So, well, let's talk some more softball, shall we? Let me introduce our guest. This feels really weird to say out loud. The former coach of the UAH Chargers, Les Studeman, kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
Hey, I feel free, man. I feel free.
So I wanted to get you on anyway today, but then all of a sudden I see this announcement this morning. So Team 30 was, when did you know Team 30 was your last hurrah, Coach?
I don't know. I can't put a finger on that for you, but there are things I do not want to do anymore. It doesn't have anything to do with NIL or transfer portal or anything about the kids. Nothing about UAH. They're just things you have to do that are nuts and bolts of being an excellent, outstanding college softball coach that I just don't want to do anymore. And I've known I didn't want to do those things. I've just liked doing those things and put my nose to the wheel and done them. And, I'm not going to – this is a job I've never worked a day. I've loved it. And those things that you put your nose on the wheel and do, I love doing them. And I don't feel that way anymore about certain things. And I am so sad, y'all. I'm heartbroken, but I'm so proud to have been here and done this. And
I hear you, Coach. I can hear the pain as well. But 30 years, I was not there at the start. Tell me about starting up this program, because you were there right at the very beginning, Coach.
Julie Moulton hired me because the AD had passed away in the middle of their search. And she said, we have 3 scholarships. We have no budget.
Oh.
You're going to practice at Brom Springs. And how long do you think it'll take you to win the GSC? And I told her 2 years, and we won it that year.
Wow.
So what was the secret to that, Coach? Being able to do that?
We had a great pitcher, and we had a great group of kids, and we were all on fire to be awesome. And there was never I never saw one single obstacle, not a single one. I mean, we didn't have a place to play, a place to practice. I mean, the girls put the water cooler in their car and strapped it in. There were dead bodies at Brom Springs. God knows what was going on out there in those woods back then. I mean, I had nothing to sell except for a great education and a dream. And I did believe in this town. I believed in the athletes here. I knew when Fast Pitch got going in the city that we were going to be able to be cooking with grease. And, you know, I don't know, but dreams are powerful, y'all. They are. And I've had my dream job. And we had a great pitcher. We had 11 players. 2 kids broke their legs. We finished the year with 9 players. And, you know, dreams are powerful. That's what I can say is I've had my dream job for 30 years.
Unreal.
So, Coach, the same things you're selling then, can you sell that today, or is it different?
I think the dream you can sell to the kids that we're recruiting. I think the education, this is the majority of the women playing fast pitch softball are doing it to get an education. Well, I don't know how many people are in the portal. I don't know, but there's 10 times that playing in college, y'all. So, I mean, the portal gets all the attention, but girls are playing softball to get an education, and we got that. You know, this is not the kind of town that matches other Division II schools where, you know, it's a city, and you can do things off campus that are fun, and you can do things on campus that are fun. So, yes, the education and the dream, yeah, they're still alive. And the thing that's better is the fact that in the state, in North Alabama and Tennessee are incredible. I mean, 32 Alabama kids I think I saw were playing in Super Regional in Division I. I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Yes, it is. And a lot of great facilities, be it Albertville and as well as what's the facility down in with Chocolaca is fantastic as well. It's the game itself, though. And the popularity of the sport as well. I mean, you've got to be soaking it up because you've spent 30 years as a head coach and as a player before that. The state of the game today, it's amazing how much it's grown. But I'd love to get your opinion on what you have seen this sport do, just growth-wise, throughout the decades, Coach.
Well, when I got here, you know, we had some legendary slow pitch teams in North Alabama, and, you know, I just got out and, met everybody, and I had a legendary coach tell me that fast pitch was just a phase. And, you know, I said, well, I'm going to the Olympics this summer, and I'm going to tell you it's not. And, you know, I think y'all, the athletes that you're going to see tonight, that's just the athletes that are playing the game, the athletes that are the women that are playing softball. There's so many more girls. It's okay to play sports. You know, when I played, when I was growing up, it wasn't ladylike to be competitive. It wasn't ladylike to want to win. You know, and so a lot of great athletes, they did cheerleading, they did dance, and I mean, my dad used to say all the time that I better be glad that the cheerleaders at Vestavia didn't play basketball because I'd never get in a game. The game is just an amazing game. It is. You know, the thing about it is that there's a million ways to win it. There's a million ways to lose it. And so a million different people can coach it and do it their way. You can have short, stocky players that are good. You can have people that look like Nigel Kennedy that are good. You can have tall, skinny players. There's not one single thing that you have to do to be great at it. And that, you know, I think that appeals to the masses. And it's fast and it's fun and it's fiery. You're in close quarters. So those are my things. I mean, the game has grown because it's a great game.
There's no doubt about that. I've had a lot of fun calling your team's games over the last handful of years, and the fact that you know who your successor is. Tell me a little bit about that. Of what were these conversations you had with Mel or Cade, or tell me about this transition from yourself to Melanie Carter.
Well, first of all, Melanie Carter was a 4-time All-American at 3 positions. She was graduated with honors from this university, and she came here wanting to be a doctor. And I coached in the summer because I was trying to get travel ball going. She coached with me one summer and came back to school and said, I want to be a coach. And I know her parents have never forgiven me for that, but as great as a player and student as she was, she is way better. The type of human she is and the type of coach she is way overshadows those things. And she is, to me, she represents what I want Charger softball to be. And like me, I mean, people think it's crazy that I love UAH, that I think it's amazing, that I think it's the best place to work in the world. People think that's silly. And she feels the same way. And I love that. You know, she is going to be able to have her own version of the same dream. And this is her dream. It was my dream job, as crazy as that sounds, with no budget and 3 scholarships. And it's her dream job. And I'm so proud of that. And I mean, you know, we moved her to associate head coach, you know, a few years ago because, 1, she deserved it and she was doing head coaching things. And 2, because I wanted her to know and everybody to know that when I was done, this job was filled. And, you know, that is a no-brainer. I mean, every time a job is open, somebody calls about her. And that just tells you all you need to know. I mean, this is the opportunity for this program to elevate even higher, and I wholeheartedly believe that.
Talking to, it still feels weird to say this out loud, former. You're laughing as much as I am, Coach. This is I'm floored still at the statement.
How old were you 30 years ago? How old were y'all 30 years ago?
I was 31, so.
I mean, you don't have to say, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's 30 years is a long time to be able to live your dream. And not only have I lived my dream, I watched Lenny Acuff live his dream. You know, I mean, like, I walk right beside him while he lived his. I mean, I've watched David Kane beg Jim Harris to start a track program, and finally Jim did it. And what he's done, I've walked side behind with him living his dream. You know, I mean, like, I am so happy, and, you know, I'm sad to be out, and I'm so proud to have been here, and I can't tell you that enough.
I would like to believe that we're going to see a little bit of you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I've already told them that the outfielders, they better get some earplugs, because I'm going to be out there in the outfield. They don't really be getting it. This is what I told Dr. Carr. I said, now that I don't work here anymore, I can say whatever I want to. And so, you know the gauntlet that is, Steve. So I can do what I want now. And yeah, I'm a Charger, and nothing will change that ever. And I'll be here and I'll be around. And I've said I might have to go on a cruise that doesn't have Wi-Fi the first month, just so I'm not watching the games all the time on my phone. Because, I mean, I love this, and I'm going to miss it, but it's the right thing for me, it's the right thing for the program, and, you know, I'm just grateful to have had the opportunity to be here.
For those of you that were joining us this past season, Scott Tyson and our guest right now had a very memorable on-the-field discussion. I'll clean it up, where Coach said she knows her stuff. So
yep.
You still know your stuff, Coach, though.
I mean, you know, I'm sorry I did that, but I mean,
Coach, it was a great moment. I loved it.
When you do this for 30 years, and you know your kids and you love your kids, you know what's going to work and what's not going to work. And, you know, it feels so great when you see a kid and you know they can do this, this, and this, and they don't know it. And then they do it. And you're like, I knew it. I knew you could do it. That's the greatest thing in the world about coaching. And, you know, that was a moment like that. I told him what we needed to do to win. I told him who needed to do it to win, and that's what happened. And, you know, that was me bragging on myself. The fact that I have seen it and known it, I love that. I'm proud of that. And that was one of those moments. And, you know.
How hard was it to tell your team, Coach?
I mean, not hard. They all know I'm done. They all know the things I don't like. And they all love Melanie Carter. And this thing will not miss a beat. Like, seriously, it's going to be better. And I truly believe that. And I think that all of our girls believe that. I mean, this senior class, you know, I've got some kids in that class that I'm going to be really good friends with forever. And, you know, Katie Bracken and Megan Schertz, those are two kids that are really hard to walk away from, you know. But we might be able to get somebody who can really be in the bullpen every day with them. What can they do if somebody's sitting there with them every day in the bullpen? Because, you know, we haven't been able to do that with their career. You know, I'm so excited for what Mel's going to be able to do now that she's freed up from some of the stuff she didn't like to do. You know, I'm so excited to see what this next assistant does. And, you know, I really, 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 the team is happy for me. And the team's going to be fine. I mean, if you are great at what you do, and I hope I am, I hope I was, then the organization is going to continue on and keep improving without you. And that's what's going to, I just really, really believe in Mel, and I really believe the foundation we've set, and that's how the team is they're like, what's next? Because that's how they should be.
Well, I did notice when we were down on the beach last week that you guys were down on the beach as well, and it's got to be special with how old are the boys now, Coach?
Cooper's 4.5, and Carter is turning 3 next month. And yes, he's named Carter after Melanie Carter. And this is really fun, and I'll be excited not to have to go to Valdosta ever again, you know, and leave them here. And the boys I got a great story I need to tell you sometime about Valdosta and Josh Majette, but I can't not today. But, you know, not having to leave on the weekends, that's so hard to be gone. And you know, whether we play the flute or I don't care. I hope it's indoor, whatever it is. But whatever they love, I'm going to love. Art, music, I don't care. Whatever it is, I'm going to be doing it all with them. And I ain't done yet. I'll find something to get into. Don't worry. But I'm going to take a break and be with them until they start school, and something will find me that I love, and I'll start disrupting everything. So I'm in a good spot, and the boys are really, 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 really super special, and I'm so happy to get to take a break and spend this time with them.
Coach, you've earned it. It really is amazing when you dive into the numbers and the amount of talent that has rolled through. I'll echo. I don't know if it's in a press release somewhere, but if you've said it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. If loving the Chargers is wrong, then I don't want to be right.
Amen, baby. I mean, like, there is nothing wrong with loving a nerd who can play sport. Absolutely nothing wrong. And there's nothing wrong with loving UAH. And I do love it, and I'm proud of that. And everybody else can love what they love, but I don't care. This is special, and it's special to me, and I believe that.
So, okay, I'm going to put the analyst hat on you for your last question. Who you got, Texas or Texas Tech?
Man, I love Jerry Glasgow. I can't even – man, I don't know. I can't – I think that Jerry Glasgow is a very dear friend, and I have known him for a very long time. And Mike White is absolutely he has been absolutely, I'm going to say this because it's not national, but like he's really like had some rough World Series as a head coach.
Yeah.
Getting there is horrible. I mean, it's horrible. It's a hard road to get there. And he's had some rough World Series, so I do think like it's kind of his time. But I mean, like next year I'm going to Nebraska to watch Jordy Ball, and I'm going to Texas Tech to watch Nigel Kennedy. I mean, like I ain't going to watch anybody at Texas. So that having a player like Nigel Kennedy, it nullifies a lot of the things going for Texas.
Pretty good eraser to have, you know.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my heart is pulling for Texas Tech, but it just seems like it's Texas's time, and that's what it looks like to me. But you just can't. They're equal in so many ways.
Coach,
and, I mean, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. No, it's that's going to be pretty cool. But I'm happy for you. I really am. Certainly going to miss our time in the dugouts. But I listen. It's been an honor to be just a little small part of your journey there at UAH, and look forward to talking with you and enjoy. You're not done. I know this is retirement number one in your world, so I really appreciate you hopping on.
I love you.
I love you too, Coach.
Good luck, Texas Tech. And if loving the Chargers is wrong, I don't want to be right.
There you go. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yes, ma'am. That is the former head coach of the UAH Chargers. After 30 years, there was not a Chargers softball program, 3 scholarships, and one that right out of the gate. Wow. Congratulations to Les Studeman. 30 fantastic years there at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. We're live here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. We do need to take our first time out. Willie Donnet going to join us later on here in this first hour as we talk Stanley Cup final, not finals, but final, with Edmonton and the Florida Panthers. So let's shuffle off. It looks like Braves are in a rain delay, by the way. Just a heads up back there, Temple.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra Barcode Printer. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific need. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Taking a look at the parkway, I would say there's quite a few people driving over 55 right now. Just mind your P's and Q's there. We are live here from Baumhower's Victory Grille right off the parkway. The place is filled up quite nicely. That was pretty cool to talk to Les Studeman, now the former head coach of the UAH Chargers, and Melanie Carter going to be the new head coach for what will be Team 31 and the first team that will not have Les Studeman as the head coach there at UAH. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit of some hockey, although Willie Donick, if you dive into his past, played basketball at Vanderbilt, also was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays as well. So we can probably talk a little baseball, but it does look like Braves and D-backs at least are starting with the tarp on the field as it stands right now. From what I see from the fine televisions, multiple televisions here at Baumhower's Victory Grille. But we are going to have some softball for you here tonight. And happy to report, at least according to the radar, right now there is nothing in the Oklahoma City area. So it does look for now like we will have some softball. And in terms of Braves, gosh, that was another painful way to lose yesterday. They are just inventing ways to lose games as D-backs winners. I believe it was 8-3 was the final from yesterday, but the Braves,
they have no there's no dump to them at all. They just look like they're just showing up to play. There's no leadership on the team. That's what it appears to me.
There's a lot of truth in that, but we do need to take our final time out of this first hour. Willie Donick, the voice of the Nashville Predators, joins us next to talk a little Stanley Cup final to get you ready for Oilers and Panthers coming up tonight.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White, his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people, flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're also going to be just a touch on the humid end of the spectrum. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers are going to be possible. We drop into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. A couple of showers and temperatures in the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You block it till the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at Baumhower's Victory Grill, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. The Stanley Cup Final begins tonight, and it's a rematch between the Oilers and the Panthers. And, I mean, who better to bring on than Willie Donick? As Willie, of course, the voice of the Predators on the television side. And it's always fun to talk some hockey. Maybe we can talk some basketball, too, with the former Vandy standout. How you doing, Willie?
Hi, great to catch up. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. And I guess right out of the gate, we want to know is, will the Canadians boo our butts again tonight? They're right out of the gate in the anthem.
Well, I experienced that when it was fresh during the season, and so I saw games in Nashville where it's like one of those who started it kind of things, but there was retaliation as well, so it went both ways for a while. So I don't know what to expect for sure. There might be some. It's certainly not going to be the whole arena or anything like that. But keep in mind that a team from Canada has not won the Stanley Cup since 1993. It's been a long time. So they're hungry. And I do think even fans that are fans of, say, Montreal or Toronto or Calgary, they are jumping on the Edmonton bandwagon, I think, for some national pride.
Well, that might be some fighting words north of the border for that. But I agree with you, Willie. But is Edmonton the better team, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I think Florida is the better team. They're more balanced. They have less injury issues, I think, than Edmonton does. Edmonton lost a very important cog. If you're kind of a casual fan, and you probably know Connor McDavid, you know Leon Draisaitl, those are the Pippen and Jordan combo type of guys, right? They're just monsters.
Yeah.
They can't do it on their own. But Zach Hyman might be among the next 2 or 3 most important players, and he's out for the series with a dislocated wrist. So that's really going to make it tough on the Oilers, just because the Panthers are so strong from top to bottom. There's not a big weakness there. So I would give the Panthers the edge.
Although I will tell you, I watched a lot of the Panther Hurricane series, and that thing, every time I thought it was going to go one way, Florida is just so resilient. I was really impressed, especially how they handled themselves defensively against the Hurricanes.
That I think is a great point. I think they're defensively sound. It's one of those things what the best teams in any sport, they can beat you regardless of how you want to play. If you want to play like Carolina does, which is a little more quickness, pressure, not as much grit and physicality, Florida can do that. They can play that way. If you want to get into a trench street fight kind of thing, nobody is tougher, I think, than Florida. So that's why they're who they are. That's why they're the defending champs. That's why this is the 3rd straight year they've gone to the final. They don't play in this big metropolis hockey center. Like I think if they were located in Toronto or a Canadian city, we'd be hyping this team up as one of the greatest of the salary cap era. But I think they might be that good. At the same time, I think just like any time in hockey, Edmonton does have a chance, but I do think Florida has more of the ingredients to beat you.
Well, on the Toronto front, they've been waiting since, the mid-'60s. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Toronto, but the first matchup against the Senators, really, you know what? They might get on a heater in, then all of a sudden that team from South Florida, once again, just that little hope just immediately vanished 2 games into that series against the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that Toronto factor, because that was impressive what Florida did to them. And also, I look at Toronto, and you mentioned the drought, right? What I see when I go up there, when I experience that city, it reminds me a lot of a very passionate SEC fan base like Alabama or Auburn, or pick your favorite, who you ever think the best fans are. They live it and breathe it every day, all year round. And so to have as much heartache as they've had in that city, it is really a phenomenon to watch. So I think if we did a sports talk show up there, I think we'd be having a big audience, because there's a lot of people that are just going nuts up there just because they have not been able to break through.
Yeah, it's so. You thinking a gentleman's sweep, or could this go 7 like last year? Or what are you thinking, just big picture wise? If everybody stays healthy for the Panthers, how long is this series going to go, in your opinion?
I think it'll go deep because I don't think you can discount the greatness of Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid himself is going to will them to a win or two. He's just that good. He is a Michael Jordan, LeBron James type of guy. And there's only so much you can do in hockey because unlike basketball, where the star players in a 48-minute game are going to play 40, 42 minutes, in hockey, Connor McDavid is going to play more than most guys who are forwards, but it's still only around half the game. So that's why it makes it tough for the greatest players to dominate single-handedly, so you have to have the team. But McDavid makes so much of a difference. They're going to win a game or two because of him. I think they probably will lose a game or two because of their disadvantage in the goaltender department. I think Florida has a big edge there. So I think 6 or 7 games. I think the Oilers will stretch the series for sure. I think when the series goes to Edmonton, you're going to see – when you see the atmosphere there, you're going to be astounded on how awesome it is. But so I think it'll be a great series to watch, but I'm picking Florida. I will stay in 6.
If Florida wins tonight, I you know what? Let me ask you: if Florida wins tonight, ... would that change your answer to maybe 5 games?
I don't think so, and you know why? Because what happened last year?
Yeah,
three, and you're like, this is over. Forget this. And then the next thing you know, they were hanging on for dear life, and recover. You know what? You got to give them credit. Any team that blows a 3-0 lead and then recovers to win Game 7, that might be just as hard as being down 3-0 and sweeping through like the 2004 Red Sox, right? Because you have all the momentum. To lose the momentum like that and then get up off your feet and win Game 7, that's pretty impressive. So I don't think I'm going to sit there and say the winner of tonight wins the series or anything like that. Too many twists and turns. For sure.
Give me your temperature on the Predators. It was I honestly didn't watch a whole lot, but
good.
Well, I mean, I'm just being real, Willie. I'm just being real.
Yeah. It was. I think every person who is passionate about that team and saw what they did a year ago to rebound and then add who they added in the offseason, I think to a person, and whether you work for the team, whether you're a fan, or whether you're just a casual person and actually follows, they were shocked, right? I think it was the most disappointing season in the franchise's history based on the expectation level. So It was tough. And so now there's all kinds of questions on what to do, how to tweak it. Can they rebound, or are they going to have to take another step back before they take the 2 or 3 steps forward? I do think that there is a really good chance that they can make this year be a 1-year pickup. They are going to get, in the silver lining, the 5th overall pick in the draft, and this is only the 3rd time in the franchise's history that they have picked in the top 5. So they're going to get a pick that they don't normally get access to. So that should help. They also have 3 overall first-round picks. So they should and keep in mind that you're drafting kids. They're all 18 years old. It's like drafting a bunch of high school seniors that are just finishing up the prom and getting their their diplomas from high school. So it takes a while for a lot of these guys to make it. Only the Connor McDavids and the superstars get there really quick. But that being said, I think the farm system has got a deep pool of prospects. That hopefully will help in the coming years. And in the meantime, all of these guys, I'll bet, I think to a person, every single guy that I can think of on the team had what I would call a below-average individual season. If there's a bounce back, I think next year could be a lot better.
Is it harder to judge? Is this a good draft, a bad draft, simply because of what you just mentioned right there, Willie?
Unfortunately, you know how sometimes you you hear a reputation about a draft. Hey, this is a really deep class, or this is not a deep class, or somebody. This is considered a little bit of a top-heavy draft. So the Predators' number 5 pick, I think, will be a really good player. But hey, what do we know? Whoever this is going to be 18 years old, so it can still go in a lot of directions. But at the same time, the class right in there at the top should be good. It's where you get in the lower first round that they're apparently, if you listen to the experts, and I haven't seen any of these kids play, right? Most of these kids play either halfway around the world in Europe, or they're playing in the Canadian junior ranks, or the American players are playing in various places, usually in a Michigan or a league called the USHL. I don't watch those leagues, right? I would love to tell you I'm watching all hockey at all times. You know me, I'm more well-rounded. I like the whole sports scene. So I don't know what to tell you about these guys. I haven't watched them play. But this is what the people who evaluate these guys say, that it's a little bit of a top-heavy class.
Well, then that's an easy segue into talked a little bit about this yesterday. I imagine popped on your radar. We did talk about a certain team from losing in Nashville last year. I got to throw in at least one college football.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Kill an ant with a sledgehammer. All right, now, Mr. Vandy, tell me your thoughts on Ryan Williams, who, by the way, is not 17 anymore. Kill an ant with a sledgehammer. How did the folks in Vandyland take that comment?
It got everybody's attention, and we mentioned it on our show today. We had a good laugh about it. And first of all, Ryan Williams is unbelievable, and he can probably say what he wants, because he made a couple of incredible plays in that game, which obviously, as a Vanderbilt graduate, I will never forget that win and carrying the goalpost down West End. I wish, in retrospect, that I had jumped out and joined the group just to say that I did it. Maybe someday I'll lie and say that I was part of that group. But I will say this, as a Vanderbilt alum, right, it does always irk, not just me, but I think all Vanderbilt people who follow them, when this line of questioning comes up. Like John Gruden asked Ryan Williams, which is what prompted the quote. How did you guys lose to Vanderbilt? Right? That's always, you guys can't lose to Vanderbilt. What happened? You guys must have been not ready to play, or you guys must have been flat. What happened? How did that happen? That always twists and strikes a chord with the prideful Vanderbilt people, because it's like you're not giving Vanderbilt enough credit for playing an incredible game. That was an unbelievable, and I think, I think it definitely hit Diego Pavia, right? Because he reacted. We were thinking that the best move for Diego Pavia would have been to have some sort of meme that involved like ants marching from Dave Matthews Band, or maybe the old commercial with Tasty and the Sunshine. That was the Bud Light, where they all bring the big Bud Light and then they chug the Bud Light down the anthill. Something with ants would have been funny. But anyway, it got everybody's attention. It's good fun. I mean, that's what it's all about. But I do think there's deep down kind of a disrespect that Vanderbilt always feels when they beat somebody. Everybody's like, well, that must have been a fluke. How did they win? Vanderbilt never wins. But, they're trying to get out of that reputation.
If there had been 2 more minutes left, they'll score it again.
Well, that is what I think I would point out if I was sitting there going, you know what? You never really did stop Vanderbilt the whole game.
But
it was that was really impressive. It wasn't, you didn't walk out of there going, man, that was the biggest fluke of all time. Alabama missed 3 field goals or had 7 turnovers. It really wasn't like that. It was Vanderbilt really playing about as well as they could possibly play on a Saturday.
Well, if you go watch the tape, which I have, and you watch what Pavia did on some of those plays, it's like the biggest play of the game, in my opinion, that Vanderbilt was able to keep the momentum, because I felt if Alabama could stop them, they would have won the game. But they couldn't.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the biggest play is Pavia on the touchdown pass on 4th and 1. It's about 4th 1.5. And you go play action. Alabama has the perfect call for it. But he ran, if you watch the tape, he ran to the only spot to give them the longest time he could get before he got killed, which he did. Threw it straight in the air to give the guy time to get under it. And it was a perfect pass because the guy was kind of covered as well.
Yeah.
The short pass or not one with any arc on it would have been an interception. It was one of the best plays I've ever seen. And he knew he was going to get killed, and he did.
Oh, yeah. It was a perfect pass on the perfect play under pressure. I agree with you 100%. That was the biggest play of the game. The two other things I would point out, because I agree with you, if you had a sense, especially as a Vanderbilt person who's watched a lot of games over the last 30 plus years, right, that if there's one more chance for Alabama, the way they're going, if they get the ball back, they're going to make it happen. So the strip sack that Vanderbilt got late was the one service break that they needed. And then, to Vanderbilt's credit, when they needed a couple of first downs at the end of the game, they didn't go into a shell and say, okay, we're just going to sit on the ball and punt it and hope to heck that we can stop them one more time. They said, no, we are going to get the first downs and run the clock out and kneel on the ball. To me, that was enormous. The satisfaction of taking the ball to the finish line and not giving them the one more chance, that was a really impressive thing. So the turnaround,
you'd scored again if you hadn't run out of time.
The turnaround from 2 years ago to last year was absolutely remarkable under Clark Lee, because they had slipped to a level that even by Vanderbilt standards was really low.
Well, Clark Lee did mention at the beach last week, Willie, that he was asked on his way out of the theater room where the goalpost is, and he said, oh, that thing's been cut up so many times. Do you have a piece of the goalpost there, Willie?
I don't, but I did see that I had an opportunity to buy a piece online, because that's what they did, right? They're trying to do whatever they can to commemorate that and piggyback off it. So, yeah, they rescued it out of the Cumberland River, cut it up, started selling off commemorative pieces, and then they were going to take the money and use it for NIL and put it back into the program. So
actually, you have to use it to pay Alabama back.
Bama got paid twice by both teams in the volunteer state there.
That's our secret NIL fund that we have now. That's what I keep telling people as a former Alabama player, Alabama alumni, and just overall, I'm just a fan now.
And by the way, the $500,000 that's instituted, it's still, if it's a conference game, it still goes to the opposing school.
So
that's right.
But what I'll say is, when they quit tearing down the goalposts after they beat us, we'll know it's over.
That will be a new era, the mark of a new era.
Yeah, that would be a bad era.
They no longer feel the need to tear down the goalposts.
Yeah, because I think we made $900,000 last year.
I don't know. I'd have to look
Oklahoma,
it up.
They stormed the field.
That's right. Tennessee
and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
They all
it was the NIL fund year.
What did they get? 300?
It was a year for Vanderbilt because they had to stroke a couple more checks the basketball season. It was getting expensive.
Ooh. Well, Willie, I can't thank you enough for hopping on and talking a little hockey and a little college football. But, I knew I could tee it up there for you. Just be careful of that sledgehammer this fall, I guess.
Okay, we'll have to. Yeah, I will anxiously await that matchup for sure. Looking forward to it. But guys, it was great to catch up. Always a pleasure, anytime, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. That is Willie Donick.
I'm going to say this. I don't think Ryan Williams was talking about Vanderbilt. I think he was talking about overall what they have to do this year. Well, and what he was saying, in my mind, is they're going to have to play like they're on fire no matter what the score is.
There's obviously a birthday going on here at Baumhower's as well. That wraps up hour number one. This is now 2 days in a row that we've kind of gone over that top of the hour. Don't adjust your radios, ladies and gentlemen.
This is not the Tom Abraham show.
No. See, we don't have a network, so we can do this stuff.
You want an 800 number?
What's that?
You want an 800 number?
We'll stick with 256-576-4977. How
Some of
about
these
that?
jokes are so inside, even I don't get them.
We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca, closing in on Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Panthers and Oilers, two familiar foes, setting up the fifth finals rematch in the NHL's expansion era since 1968, and the first since the Pens and the Wings in 2009. Panthers making their third straight trip to the final and looking to repeat. Lead all playoff teams in goals per game and power play percentage this postseason. Also have to deal with the best player in the sport in Connor McDavid on the other side. Three-time Stanley Cup champ Pat Maroon on the Panthers' plan in the series.
You have your matchups with your D pairing, the top two D that are going against them, and then the top three forwards that are going to match up against them too. So they just try to do a good job of limiting time and space, being hard on them, physicality on them. Try not to, get that, space where you can create his offense on his own. So I think it's all time and space limited.
Maroon on the Pat McAfee Show. Oilers have struggled in Game 1s, 4-12 since Connor McDavid made his playoff debut, second worst in the NHL over that span. Puck drop coming up at 8 Eastern. In baseball, the Rockies win their third straight. They call that a winning streak. Colorado sweeping the Marlins with a 3-2 win this afternoon. Hunter Goodman tripled and doubled to cap a big weekend. Rockies improved to 12-50 this season with their first series sweep since May of last year. Kyle Freeland allowed 2 unearned runs in 6 1/3, his first win since September.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, we continue to react to the fallout of the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau, and we wonder who are legitimate contenders for the job. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Boy, we've had a little bit of everything so far here in this Wednesday edition of The Drive. The former head coach of the UAH Chargers, Les Studeman, as well as Willie Donick, the voice of the Nashville Predators, also joining us. Talking a little Stanley Cup final as well as sledgehammer. A little sledgehammer talk right there with Ryan Williams, leaving no doubt that at least being asked specifically by John Gruden, how'd that happen? How'd that happen?
They just got their ass hit. Well, but if you think Alabama was ready to play for that game defensively, They were not.
So
we're beating Georgia the week before.
And Vanderbilt was on a bye week.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with it. Of course, everybody gets a bye week to the SEC bylaw.
Jordy Armin is kind enough to had to twist his arm to get him down here to Baumhower's Victory Grill. How are you, Drew?
I'm doing well. And Wes is right. They give everybody a bye. Alabama's not supposed to complain about it, and they don't play nobody. That's what everybody says.
I kind of liked what Ryan had to say. I mean, he was just answering a question honestly, and I know it kind of took on a little bit of a life of its own.
And I'll just tell folks that what I said on the show. I think he was just, he was asking about Vanderbilt specifically, but he was talking about
the whole
preparing,
team,
preparing for everybody.
Yeah, I said that set up, Drew, 100%.
Yeah, and then I know Diego Pavia took it as disrespect, and
well, of course, he's trying to fire up his team.
But he's played with a chip on his shoulder his whole career.
Why is he still playing? That's what I want to know. Well, he's already got 5 years. He doesn't get a 6th year. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think has he won that appeal. I don't think he has.
Well, I mean, I did call him Social Security this morning, but I mean, and I did say,
what didn't you guys say this morning?
But I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, we had one Karen get mad, but
You didn't cut a hole in the box, did you?
Easy there, big fella.
But seriously, I'll just say this about that whole deal. I listened to the Gruden clip, and I believe we bleeped out, what he said. We certainly we told John to be aware of what was coming, and that's just Gruden being Gruden. But I just thought Ryan Williams answered it honestly, and it was more about, like Wes said, preparation for every team, and and understanding that what the mistakes they made a year ago. But Diego Pavia is always going to try to create, an edge for himself.
Yeah.
And I said last year he's a great player. I love watching him play.
He's the best 30-year-old I ever seen play quarterback.
But I will say, I did say this when he started, posting about Instagram posts about Bama and having lost the game and everything, and pointing toward the rematch in Tuscaloosa. I mean, if I were him, I'd keep quiet too, because if you don't think Alabama's going to be ready to play you this time, after hearing about it for a year, that you lost to Vanderbilt for the first time in 40 years, I would shut my mouth, because otherwise you might end up with broken ribs.
He might not even play.
I mean,
I don't think he's been approved, but I don't know that for a fact.
I hope he does play, and I hope Alabama, runs over Vanderbilt like they usually do. I'll just say that, so they can shut everybody up after that. Because, and then I will say this, and I've said this also, I don't understand why people keep saying, oh, you can't believe you lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was good. They won a bowl game. They had a winning record. I gave them respect. I mean, they could have won more games than they did.
Oh, yeah, they won 100%.
And they grinded out a lot of tough games against people and played tough football. And
100%.
I don't know why. I guess it's because of the brand and because OU has a lot of tradition. But the Oklahoma loss was worse.
By far.
And, I mean, because Vanderbilt was a better football team than Oklahoma. And I don't know why everybody – but it's just because of the brand, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Alabama lost to Tennessee. Tennessee was a college football playoff team. And then and Bama didn't kind of no-showed, or at least the quarterback did, against Michigan.
Well, I'm going to say, to me, it's they didn't play good the last 3 games they played.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it.
Even beating Auburn, right.
They had 12 turnovers the last 3 games. You can't beat anybody. I bet you go back, look at Saban's good team. They didn't have 12 turnovers all year, much less than 3 games.
I did say another thing, too, that I gave Coach Saban the ultimate kudos for his last year, leading Bama in 23, and Tommy Rees, is how little compared to last year that Milroe turned the ball over, because he protected the ball much better for them.
Except for the Michigan game, which was one of the big turnovers of the game.
Yeah.
Turned the game around. Alabama was about to win that game when he fumbled.
Yeah, so, they were driving to try to put it away.
You cannot turn the ball over and beat anybody good. It's just not going to happen.
You can, and they were trying to drive and put the game away, which they did against Tennessee, and that still was glorious. I mean, it was 27-0 in the second half.
So looking up, this is from Sports Business Journal, that inside this article, when was this article produced? 2 weeks ago. It was late last month that the NCAA granted an extra year of eligibility for any player that played JUCO, Division II, Division III, of those athletes that are playing Division I college football. So Bob Baumhower is calling me.
Nice.
So the head fry cook himself. Bob, you're on the air right now if you've got time, sir. You're on with Drudy Arman, Wes Neighbors, and myself. How are you, Bob?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Baptism through fire there. Yeah, I'm doing great. Good to talk to y'all.
Yeah. It's we're here at Baumhower's, and the place is bustling. So what are you doing first and foremost, sir?
I'm doing great. And, having some fun with some rehab that I'm going through right now, but I'm doing well.
How is that compared to, say, a fall or a spring in Tuscaloosa?
Bob's not going to get through any security without that thing going on.
Hold on a minute, you guys. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
So, hold on a minute. And I'm actually in the car, and I'm pulling over for you. Hold on a minute. All right.
All good. You're crystal clear.
All good. All good.
So how does rehab compare to, say, maybe going through a spring or a fall down in Tuscaloosa?
Well, this is kind of like a vacation compared to that. I got to tell you that. Yeah, and in fact, when I went in there, I had to do a teledoc appointment yesterday, follow up, and I just had this hip done a couple weeks ago, and I told my physical therapy guy when I went in today, I said, yeah, I did my teledoc thing, and he says I need an hour full body massage after each workout, but somehow that didn't. Somehow I didn't get there, but anyway, I tried.
All you got to do is ask. So there's that.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's amazing. So I just had my second hip replacement, and it's just amazing what they do. I had it done with the Andrews folks, and they just do great work. And that was 2 weeks ago, and I'm already up and about. Not, I'm not pushing it, but it's just amazing what they can do with the technology today.
There might be some therapy there at Bahama Bob's, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that would be fun. Trying to get West down there, so that would be a good time.
Every time I go, they shut down the country down. Try to go.
That is true. That's actually true. Yeah, I remember that well.
Well, it is summertime, and for me, this is prime time. Well, listen, I know football is wing season, but man, the wings here are just. I mean, it's always my go-to here at Baumhower's, Bob.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. We got voted best wings, and we've done this a few times, but there's some kind of a social media platform called Bama Buzz, and they voted us best wings in the state a couple months ago. And I might add, you guys, that we just did a new menu. If you're in there, you're seeing the menu. It's different color, got a few different items, but one of our featured items is, I call it dolphin. Because back in the day, especially down South Florida, everybody loved eating dolphin fingers, grilled dolphin, fried dolphin, whatever. It's called mahi now, mahi, which is the Hawaiian name for it. But in Florida and the Bahamas, it's dolphin. And we have a couple really nice dishes that we're really excited about and they're doing really well that are a fish, dolphin dishes. And then the other piece is that our shrimp dishes, we're using all wild, domestic, local shrimp in our shrimp dishes as well. So we're working hard on the seafood piece as well.
Yeah, you're not getting the shrimp out of your backyard anymore.
Not now. It's local, but not that local.
That'd be extremely local.
But not quite that local.
Your food's amazing. You perfected it. What's amazing about this is there's so much on the menu, and everything. Of course, they do it fresh is one of the reasons, but it's so consistent. It's just consistently good. And there's people I know that eat here every day. Pretty much.
Yeah, we work on that, and actually a lot of that's because we're bringing the right stuff in the back door. We're bringing in fresh product, and we work really hard on keeping our team members on board long term, and so they work really hard in the prep department, all the above. So it takes a lot of work, but it's worth it if it gets to the table and makes people like y'all happy.
Xavier's on a cruise now, isn't he?
Say what?
I think Xavier's on a cruise now.
Is he really?
Yeah. He took a cruise, so he's having a good time.
Well, I know y'all made some news partnering with Ryan Williams. When can we expect that to launch this fall?
Well, you talking about the podcast?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, we've done one episode, and we're working on another one, and we're having a lot of fun with that, and that's part of that NIL program. And let me tell you, good young people. We've got some really good young men on this team, and and you know how Coach Bryant was about that, and Coach Saban as well. But good people create good teams, and good teams win championships. So hopefully we got some good things to look forward to if you're an Alabama fan this year.
At least ESPN Analytics has Alabama as one of the potential favorites of making a college football playoff spot. So things are looking awfully good there.
I could see that. You've got everybody coming back on defense.
Yeah.
And then, obviously quarterback is a question. But hopefully the question marks get answered. Get good answers,
You got Florida State right out of the gate. That's almost in your backyard there. So
yeah, and that should be an interesting game. And through the years, there's been a really interesting relationship between those two schools, going all the way back to when I was playing, whether it was Hootie Ingram being the athletic director of FSU back in the day, or Coach Andrews, Mickey Andrews was their defensive coordinator forever under Coach Bowden, and he played at Alabama under Coach Bryant. And there's been a lot of interesting relationships between those two schools, and should be an interesting one to open up with. It'll be interesting to see what Florida State's got to offer this year.
And year two, there for Coach DeBoer. I've been really impressed with. It's hard not to be impressed with his overall resume, Bob, considering what he's done at every single stop. I guess with the exception of Fresno State, but he wasn't there long enough to really crank the engine, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. And I've met him, but I don't know him well. But everything I hear is good. And whether it's how sharp he is, smart he is, how good he is with the players, all the above. And then he seems to be a really good recruiter. So I'll be expecting a little more this year than last year. Last year was tough on anybody coming in following the best ever. But this year it's going to be I think it's going to be interesting with the expectations everybody's going to have for this year.
How about your Dolphins? Can we get a full season at Tua?
Yeah, I can't figure them out, though. And so, and I got a lot of buddies. We talk about it a lot. At least they drafted some big guys this year on both sides of the line. That hasn't been the case. They've always been just concentrating on skill positions, and the infrastructure, the offensive and defensive lines have really never measured up. Tua was under pressure all year last year, and they've got to get solid in the middle, and that was a big deal with Shula back in the day. And to me, with most good championship teams, they've got really good, solid team members on the offensive and defensive line.
Quarterback room looks like this: Tua, Zach Wilson, Brett Gabbert, and Quinn Ewers as well in that quarterback room.
Yeah, and to me, they're still putting everything on Tua. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, again, if we can protect him, and then their wide receiver core, it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out too. But I don't know what to expect with them anymore. So I just hope for the best.
Well, I think it's important for them to win the division. Is that they need, if they can play the whole game
right out of the gate? They're at Indianapolis, then they host in New England, then at Buffalo in week 3. So already at least you might get Buffalo on a warm day at least, rather than 3 feet of snow.
Right. Yeah, and that makes a difference with that. In fact, we were having some conversations. Buffalo, when I was playing, came down late in the season, off and on, and it really affected their play. There was a lot of guys that were, let's just say, losing their lunch midway through the game when they were coming back. Well, it's so it can be so hot down there in November, December compared to Buffalo, and they're just not used to that heat. Can't prepare for that. And we were just telling stories about that the other day. And you bring it up, 3 feet of snow versus playing there early in the year, and that does make a difference sometimes.
So, were you a mudder, Bob?
Was I what?
A mudder. Did you play good in the rain and bad weather?
You had to be. Back then. I mean, it went without saying. Miami had a natural field. I mean, the stadiums, the systems weren't as strong back then as far as drainage, and you get some rain, and if there was a natural turf field, you were gonna get pretty muddy. That game that we played against the Jets. In fact, they called that the Mud Bowl. That was amazing. And then one year we played in the snowplow game up in New England, where we had a lot of snow, a lot of ice. That was interesting too. So, but as far as especially playing in the middle, playing defensive line, you got to be able to go no matter what the conditions are.
Well, it's good conditions here at Baumhower's, so always appreciate the time, Bob. And
I appreciate the time, man. I appreciate y'all being there.
Absolutely, always great to talk with you, sir.
All right, same here. Y'all be good.
That is Bob Baumhower, head fry cook, calling into the program.
One of the best people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, and I hope. I don't think they didn't bring them back for the spring. Maybe they will for the summer. I hope they bring back the Conecuh sausage dogs. I actually really like those. Had them seveul times.
You talking about here?
Yeah. They were here.
Yeah, they were good.
They're fantastic.
There you go, Brian.
Hey, man. I'm a former Pat kid. I love those.
I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. I was about to say something. I didn't know you guys were going to wrap it up, but Steve has the bat phone. He called right in the middle of the show. So when Bob called, he can shoot him a text, tell him to bring back the Conecuh sausage dogs.
I'm doing that right now.
They don't answer when I call, so
Yeah, those Conecuh sausage dogs, man, are really, really good.
We're on Bob's time. We're at Baumhower's Victory Grill.
Shoot him a text and let him know that I really enjoyed those. Had them on multiple occasions, and I know they bring stuff back seasonally. I'd like to see that. It's really
it's
good.
always Conecuh season.
Yeah.
Well, it is time for us to take our one and only timeout. Final call for phone calls. Walking you up to the Women's College World Series that you'll hear tonight right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party. So why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available. So don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
With Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Finding things down here on a Wednesday. Gertie Arman, Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton back here with you. Appreciate Bob Baumhower calling in as well as we're live here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Wes, you asked about Pavia and had the story pulled up when I got a call in from Bob, but here is the rest of the story. This story came down yesterday on CBSSports.com. Chris Hummer penned this article, and it really it dives into the Pavia situation involving eligibility for other players, because this idea of a blanket waiver,
I can't believe
it really didn't happen in that regard. At least according to this article, there are several players still in limbo simply because Pavia was granted an extra year because he played 4 straight seasons of football without a red shirt. So that's how the NCAA implemented that extra year waiver. And there are quite a few players, especially players that are coming from JUCO, that are not in that same boat, Drew. And it's just making this even more hairy for other situations from other kids.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, he already got cleared to play another year at Alabama because I think he and everyone thought last year was going to be his final season of eligibility. And then he was informed really several months ago that he would be eligible again for another year. And he was very excited about it because he was banged up, during his time at Alabama. So it would give him another full season to be healthy. And again, he certainly wasn't going to get drafted last year for the season. And so, it's definitely a boon for Alabama. I mean, Coach DeBoer's mentioned it and Kane Womack during the offseason because even though nobody wanted to see Deontay tear his ACL late in the year, and by the way, I believe he did that against Oklahoma. That's another reason why the Oklahoma game went to toilet. But, they were going into the year thinking, okay, we're not going to have Deontay, he'll go pro, and then we're not going to have Justin Jefferson. And the inside linebacker room is going to be very young. And then it turned into getting Deontay back because he tore his ACL, and he was going to decide to come back and rehab, and it was going to affect his draft stock. I think he should have been drafted, but it certainly was going to knock him down a couple of rounds probably. And then you get Justin Jefferson back, who the second year seemed to really improve from year one. He's undersized, but he's very, very fast. And then they went ahead and then got Green Hill or Hill Green, whatever the hell. Nicole Hill Green from Colorado, who had 82 tackles, and he only has 1 year left. But now you got 3 old players inside. So you think going into his junior year at the Wolf spot, if he can stay healthy, he could have a breakout year. I mean, he is a freakazoid athletically. So you go from potentially having a lot of question marks at the linebacker spot to being old and then being a strength, and it goes toward why I think Alabama defensively has a chance to be really good, because I think they're very deep. And they have a great mix of experience and youth in the secondary. And then I think defensive line-wise, they have some talent, but they've got to be consistent and produce. And if they do, I think Alabama, no question, can be great and have one of the top 3 or 4 defenses in the SEC. I was on, I guess, hosted Ryan Fowler's show yesterday while you guys were on here. On the drive, and heck, man, I talked to Dalton. My mind's going blank here. From Pro Football Focus,
okay,
and he who I'd never spoken with before. We've spoken with guys from Pro Football Focus on Talking Ball before, but I had never spoken with this guy, and he thinks Alabama's defense may be top 3 or 4 nationally, not just in the SEC, because of the talent that they had coming back. We were actually talking about the offensive line, which I think could be the best in the country. I was wanting to delve into the offensive line personnel and why they think they're going to be great. But then I wanted to bring up defense because they've got so many veterans back, and he just really believes that Dalton Wasserman, pardon me.
Okay.
But yeah, Dalton Wasserman of Pro Football Focus, and said he feels like with the veteran personnel they have back, because Tim Keenan's played a lot of football.
Yeah.
Undersized, but a really good player. Has a chance to be really good. And I just think that overall they believe that that Alabama on all 3 levels has got a chance to be really good, and it'll be year 2 under Kane Womack.
So, Drew, there was another freshman linebacker that there was all the rave during camp. Spring. Who was that? The young linebacker?
Well, there was a few of them. Abdul Sanders did a nice job. Justin Hill, who's going to be a Wolf, who is going to back up Clay Russaw. He did some really good things. I think no question that he can. I think they thought they were going to be able to develop some nice depth in the room, no doubt about it. Because most of the recruiting class ended up coming in and going through spring, but I think they believe a lot of the guys inside, are going to be able to, behind those vets. When if they hadn't been able to get all these guys back, they never. It would have been a situation where you're probably going to have to end up, playing some of those guys in prominent roles, which that's not going to be as prevalent now because you got those veteran guys back.
Yeah, and the best way to learn is from a guy that's been there for 4 years and knows what to do. I mean, there's no better coaching than a senior that has a lot of experience.
That is going to wrap us up here from Baumhower's Victory Grill. The Women's College World Series comes up next between Texas Tech and Texas. We'll see what happens here if the Southeastern Conference can bring home another championship.
Bill Green.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhower here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So,